Hey y'all, what's up? Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, I just have a few things I wanted to talk to y'all about real quick. Okay, make sure you're coming into the video and you are indeed liking up the video. Okay, it's definitely giving podcast out today. Okay, now listen, first of all, I did get a chance to see a video of Bambi and Scrappy, and they were together, of course, and they were out in London because Bambi said that they were filming for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Okay, they seem to be getting along very well. They were vibing very well. If you guys want to see the clips, they're over on Live Bites with a Z over on Twitter. Okay. So they're over there vibing, they're having a good time, and all of that. Okay. She did show us a broken nail. She said that she had to break up a fight. Yeah, she said she had to break up a fight between girl Lil Zane. Yes, Lil Zane. Peaches and cream. Lil Zane. Yes, Lil Zane and chaotic, and y'all know chaotic and Scrappy have been having their issues going back and forth regarding the breakdown of their friendship and stuff. So she said that they had to fight for Scrappy's honor. Okay, they were fighting over who was the best friend to Scrappy. I want to believe that Bambi was joking when she said that, because that's not making any sense. You guys are grown men fighting over Scrappy. Oh my God, guys. Like, y'all have got to chill it out. You're going to have to chill it out. Now, granted, it could be something totally different. It could be that maybe Zane felt disrespected by Chaotic, or vice versa, or maybe Chaotic disrespected Scrappy, and maybe, I don't know, it could be anything. But if y'all find over Scrappy, I hope that's not the case. But we'll just have to wait and see. So in the midst of that, Bambi had to let everybody know, like, listen, girl, we are just co-parenting. That's all that it is. Nothing more, nothing less. And we're also co-working. Because if we leave this hotel that they got us in London, baby, we getting fired. And y'all know we got 3 kids, okay? And with that being said, we gotta have what we need to have to take care of these kids. So yeah, we're gonna coexist, and that's good for them because it looks like they are in a better place. Especially after Mama D said a lot of negative things about Bambi, like she was dragging her. She just had so much to say about her, and I just felt like, Mama D, you're out of line. Out of line. You was wrong for that. Scrappy did come and he also explained. He said, listen, Bambi is my ex-wife. There's nothing going on between us. We just wanted to show you guys that, you can have a good relationship with your kid's other parent. Like, there can be a great relationship. We're good on that end, regardless of what was said, what negativity was thrown around. We are in a better place. And I'm just like, well, good for y'all, because Mama D said a lot of things, and you didn't necessarily check her. At least we didn't see in the front scenes. Okay. So I can see Bambi not wanting to rock with you, and how you tried to play up the whole situation of not paying a lot in child support by trying to get joint custody to get the kids like every other week or whatever the case is. So it's been a lot that has happened between them. So for them to come to this place where they're able to laugh and joke and have a good time together, hey, congrats to y'all. Okay. Now, we talked about Scrappy having 3 kids, right? And those are 3 kids with the band. He also has one with his first baby mama, which is Erica Dixon. Now, what else is interesting is that Chaotic kind of outed some tea on him last week by saying that he has 5 children. And now we're learning, and I first learned it from It's On Site, and they're saying that little Scrappy has a new baby on the way, and that he's allegedly expecting a baby boy. And then get this, y'all. He's supposed to be having a child with one of the contestants on the reality show that Chaotic got for them over on Now That's TV, called Pick a Side. If that ain't messy, I don't know what it is. Okay. And I do have a question, and not to SHI on Scrappy really, but it's just more so a question about, like, what was this young woman thinking getting pregnant by Scrappy? Was it like something that you guys both agreed on? Was it something that, was an accident? Was it something that you did on purpose to possibly have a come up? Just a question, or a few questions actually. And if it was for come up purposes, I'm just wondering, what was it in Scrappy that made you think that you could potentially have a come up when it comes to him? Maybe to get on a TV show. And then if you're able to get on a television show, that's definitely a storyline for him. And then you can make a name for yourself, and then you can, continue to build and grow from there. But if that is the reason why you did it, that ain't really good, y'all. It's not. Okay, it's not a good look at all, in my personal. Okay, and then you done had a child with a man that these ladies have both called out for not wanting to do his part at times when it comes to being a dad. So I feel like, in the beginning stages, it could potentially be rough on you, right? And then as they get older, then he'll probably step in and want to help out because a lot of the harder work in the beginning stages is done already, right? So we'll see. I mean, who knows? We might even be surprised to learn that hey, that may be his actual girlfriend that he got pregnant. We'll have to wait and see. Unless we're gonna have Chaotic come back online and spill more of Scrappy's tea. And you know what else? As we're speaking on Scrappy's tea, Scrappy did a lot of talking last week saying how, oh, well, I'm not a YouTuber, so you're not going to have me putting a camera in my face and doing skits and doing this and doing that and yada, yada, yada. That's what Scrappy said. Well, what's interesting is that Chaotic dropped a diss record towards Scrappy. Okay. And it actually wasn't that bad. I'll be honest. I think he labeled it competition. Actually wasn't a bad song. I said, okay, that's what's up, Chaotic. I said, the sad part is that Scrappy's not going to meet you where you are. He's not going to drop any music. Scrappy doesn't think business like that, unfortunately for him. He wasn't going to drop music, but I'll tell you what he did do, which could potentially be a business move for him, but he's not a YouTuber, right? Scrappy decided to create a YouTube channel. Okay, Scrappy created this YouTube channel and he decided to have a sit down where he did an interview with someone and had someone ask him questions about the ins and outs of the relationship that he had or the friendship he had with a Chaotic. Okay. And that's interesting because I mean, some stuff Scrappy said, I was like, oh, okay, now I'm confused. Okay. I don't really know who to believe. I feel like it's both of y'all that, are coming to us with the BS, in all honesty. I think that Chaotic definitely hit some nails on the head when it comes to Scrappy and saying how he's pretty much lazy. Okay, I mean it's not too different than some of the things his baby moms have said about him. Like he's pretty much of a lazy guy. And you would think with him having his fifth child on the way that he would at least try to come up with something like a YouTube, right? So that he can get that additional money and be able to take care of those kids or whatever. Because I refuse to believe that Love and Hip Hop being your end all be all and that is really bringing in everything. Like I'm having a hard time believing that, but whatever. Okay. So you would think that he would do that, but anywho, he waited until Chaotic dropped a diss track. Okay, then he goes over and creates his YouTube channel, drops the interview, and in that interview, he says that he was pretty vocal with Chaotic, letting him know, like, hey, I can't shake and move like you. I can't do those things like you do. Okay, and it's funny because I feel like he was trying to kind of like change the narrative because he was saying that I ain't no YouTuber. Like it was like he was trying to like talk down on what it is that Chaotic does. But then when he got on his platform, he made it seem like, oh, well, I don't do those things because I'm not always available like that because I have kids. He can just up and film whenever he wants, and I can't. And I'm not gonna have my kids sitting around over at his house. Oh, and the nanny, she isn't always available to us. So yeah, that's what I meant by that. Seemed like he was trying to kind of like clean it up or whatnot. But he did his interview. We'll see if he's gonna do more content over there to actually try to make it something. I doubt it. I think that Scrappy can be very inconsistent with things. That's why I was even surprised to see him performing with Spice at the top of the episode. I was like, what? He's on a song with Spice? Of course it's going to go because Spice has a pretty decent fan base. Okay. So it's going to be a successful song. I'm sure it didn't sound bad until Scrappy got on the track. And that's no disrespect. It's just my honest opinion of it. I would have to hear the song on its own versus the live version that was fed to us because I'm sure there were some edits for Love and Hip Hop. So I would have to hear it in its entirety. But from what I heard originally with Spice singing, it did not sound like it was a bad song. Okay. So there's that. All right. I just wanted to give you guys a part of an update when it comes to, what's going on with Love and Hip Hop, Bambi and Scrap and Chaotic, this whole fight situation, and Scrappy also having another child on the way. Okay. Hold up, y'all. Wait a minute, honey. Because it appears that Scrappy is now being aired out by the winner of that show, Pick a Side. Girl, I don't even know if the show has fully aired yet. Okay. But understand this young lady took to TikTok to pretty much air Scrappy out and also mention that she had a threesome with Scrappy. And the other girl in the threesome may be the one that he actually got pregnant. Y'all, this is insane. Go ahead and check this video out here.
Put a finger down if you were on a Now That's TV show and you won the show, and you and the guy who you won the show with decided that y'all were gonna see where things went, date, and potentially get serious. Put another finger down if you were at his house one day and decided that you wanted to invite your friend over so we can all get lit. And he tells you to have her Uber to a gas station, and you pick her up from the gas station just so she doesn't have his physical address. Put another finger down if y'all were vibing, turning up, getting lit, and y'all all mutually decide to have a threesome. And then a month later, after having that threesome that you brought your friend into, she calls and tells you that she's pregnant and by the guy that you're talking to. Put another finger down if now he's gaslighting you into thinking that it's your fault and you're the cause of this, and you need to now handle the situation and talk your friend out of having a baby that he does not want. Now put another finger down if after having a conversation with her, she decides that she's keeping the baby for sure and there's no talking her out of it. Put another finger down if after y'all both come to the realization that she's keeping the child, he decides to constantly hit you up, making you feel like there is still a potential and chance out of this relationship outside of the fact that you're having a child with my friend. Put a finger down if you was a dumb hoe and thought that that was really gonna work. Comments like these cannot go unanswered. Yes, we use protection. The only thing was that in the middle, I had to leave because I had to go get my daughter. My daughter comes first. So I left her there only off the strength that I knew that she was going back home the next day. And because me and him are talking, I trust him. So a month goes by and we get a phone call that she's pregnant. I call him and I ask him what happened after I left. And that's when he proceeds to say that he was so drunk and high, he don't remember anything that happened after I left.
Child, y'all just heard that? Girl, that is crazy. Crazy work. Scrappy, you done got your karma now, baby. Ain't this something out here acting reckless? And you done sat up here and got yourself a fifth child. Now, that's if this young lady's story is true, because all she knows about is the threesome that took place between Scrappy, herself, and the friend, and she had to leave to go pick up her child. Girl, ain't that something? You just got over here hunching and bunching down and munching on some stuff, and you about to go pick your girl. That ain't none of them, girl. Anyway, okay, but she had to leave in the middle. All right, and they were getting it in, doing the do. I guess they continued to do that. And he ended up getting her pregnant. Now, I do have questions because some things are weird. So it sounds like she said that she picked up the friend to go to Scrappy's house because Scrappy did not want the girl to have his address. Well, then why would you then leave the girl at the house? That's crazy. He didn't want her to have his address, but then you left her at the house like she's not going to pick the address up when she's on the way there. I don't know, but something about that is sketchy betchy. I'm wondering if he may have linked up with that girl outside of that threesome and ended up getting her pregnant and still didn't want it. Whew, child, I know Bambi and maybe even a piece of Erica. I don't know, but I'm sure the ladies is feeling like they dodged a bullet. I know for damn sure Miss Diamond do. I know for damn sure Diamond is glad. But Scrappy, you done met your match now, honey. So y'all leave y'all thoughts down below on that, and we're gonna go ahead and get on into more. I want to talk about Erica Mena. Because at one point she was on the show, she got into an issue with Spice. They had like an altercation, and she ended up calling Spice a blue monkey. Okay. She called her out her name. Social media went wild, and Love and Hip Hop had to release her for some time from her contract and her work with them. Okay. They put her on pause. She is now back sitting with the podcast, and she kind of shares her thoughts about that moment. And I just want you guys to listen to it so you can make the determination on whether or not you felt as though she actually took some accountability. So let us get into this.
I'm disappointed in the fact that I let down women of color who felt that I was speaking on that in that manner.
Yeah.
I do wish that more of her actions was shown, just so the audience had a better understanding of what provoked me to actually say that initial comment. But at the same time, I'm gonna take my
I'm glad you said that.
I'm taking my accountability,
Right.
because at the end of the day, it is what it is. Regardless of what she was doing, I really wholeheartedly feel like it was just all wrong in the choice of words.
And yes, was the edit
horrible?
You know, in
it
a
was
way,
so horrible, because all you see me is yelling in a window.
Yeah.
You don't see what's in the window.
Yeah. But that's
that was literally her. She had her ass pulled down her pants and had her ass in the window talking about, "You said it to me, you stupid bitch," and put her. So in that moment of her throwing her ass in the window, it just was like, you a fucking animal. You have no, as a woman, you're coming for me about my kid and you don't even know him. And honestly, I don't even want to get into all that details because that don't even matter. What matters is I understand the impact that I have more than ever now. And after what happened from that, I know my mission. Now, I have a lot to make up for. What you said, we can't sugarcoat it. I got to take 1000% responsibility for what I said. And I do, and I stand in it, and I know I fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, all I'm asking is for some time to make up for it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I know I can. Whether it's, who knows, and maybe doing a movie role that makes a stance and sends a message that's empowering, or just even in my show that I got coming on for women to feel more confident in their sexuality or whatever. I just feel like there's just a bigger mission now.
Yeah.
And now that I know the impact that I have off of saying one word, I just feel so obligated to use that and just know, okay, one word can affect. How do I use that impact but make it powerful and positive? And I don't have the answer for you right now, but I know, God, with all the work I've been doing, it's gonna come. I'm disappointed in the.
All right. So you guys just heard what Erica said. It's interesting that she said that she does not have it for us right now on how she can take the situation and use it and make it more powerful than what it was previously. That's interesting considering the fact that it's been about a year. You know what I'm saying? It's been a year since I believe she was released from Love and Hip Hop ATL. So you don't know how you're going to turn around and make it a powerful impact or whatnot. Okay. Also, okay, I feel like in the beginning, as Erica was talking, she kind of sounded like she was slurring her words a bit. I don't know what was going on, but I said, wow, it's really hard for her to, get out that accountability. And she was really struggling with that. Okay. Getting out her accountability. She was struggling so much that I was a bit confused. Okay. She said that she hates that Black women saw her use that word in that manner. That was confusing. She says, I'm disappointed in the fact that Black women I don't even think she said Black women. Maybe she did, but she said women saw me use that word in that manner. And I'm like, what? They did what? They saw you use that word. I mean, it was very confusing. And it's so basically you hate that you got caught. Are you afraid that you got caught is what it sounds like to me. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. Okay. She was really struggling to get that out. I'm sure she meant better than what she actually said. Now, when she does talk about Spice, actually, and she says that Spice pretty much showed her as pulled down her pants. Listen, I believe it. I do. I believe that Spice did that. Spice has unhinged behavior, in my opinion. She's always loud, yelling, ready to get into it with people. And it's like she can do things, but other people cannot. So I would not be surprised if that was the manner that she displayed. However, I am glad that Erica shifted the conversation back from being about what Spice did to quote unquote trigger her, and more so about what she did. Okay, because this moment is really about you. Spice has to own her stuff, even though she owned part of it. You know what I'm saying? She has to own her stuff. Okay. But this is a moment about you and what you did and how you're going to, accept accountability for your own actions. Okay. She also mentioned something about, her mission. Like she knows what her mission is. And I'm like, do you really know what your mission? What is your mission? Now, knowing how important, I guess, your platform is, you now know your mission after you've been drugged. So I'm like, what is it? Okay. She also mentioned a way to, like, she said she needed time. Okay. She mentioned needing time so that she can make up for it. And she didn't know how she would do that. She mentioned that maybe it'll be a movie role or something. Ma'am, it's really not even funny because I'm confused on what a movie role has to do with you accepting full accountability and righting your wrongs, in so many words. Like, I feel like you can do that without even needing a movie role, which are actually awards to you, or shall I say rewards to you. I feel like you were using this moment to possibly, you know, flag down any directors or writers or anybody that may want to work with you. Like, hey, if you see this moment and see pity on me, then please call me forward. And I would love to make it up to everybody by the role that you put me in and the money that you pay me. Okay. I feel like it doesn't take all of that, in my opinion. If you want to get to that place to where you want to make it up to people, I think you might want to make it up with Spice first. You spoke on how women felt, more so how we received and how we felt after you said those words to her when she was the one that fully experienced it. So I feel like you should apologize to her. I don't recall throughout all of this, since it happened, since you were released, I don't think a single apology went to Spice. Whether I like Spice, whether she gets on my nerves or not, she was the one that was offended primarily. So that's where your apology should go first. And you haven't done that. And I feel like that's one of the big steps to accepting accountability. It may not be something you want to do because you felt like she triggered you or whatever, but this moment is really about you more than it is about her. And I just feel like do your part. And then it's going to be on her. The ball going to be back in her court for how she's looking. Okay. But that's just what I think about that. So it's like, yeah, keep it on you, focus on you, send your apologies out, start there, and then work on it moving forward. Okay. Whatever that looks like to you, I suppose you might need a little help with that because this clip that we're seeing is not necessarily working. Okay. I did not watch everything in its entirety. And sometimes when you see the full thing, it may make you think and feel a bit differently. But I think they gave us enough of this clip, enough of what she's talking about in this clip for us to know that accountability is a struggle for Miss Erica. Okay. It always has been. Okay. So there's that. But you guys can leave your thoughts and comments down below regarding that matter at hand. Okay. I do want to go on and I want to talk about more. All right. I want to talk about Phaedra. Okay. Phaedra took to social media to let everybody know, like, hey, girl, I am returning. I'm coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Pam. I'm feeling real peachy today. Yes, I'm going to be returning. She said, you called and I answered. So it looks like Phaedra is going to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is something that they have been talking about for a few weeks, about having her come back to the show and play with, Miss Portia and stuff. And I'll be honest, it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic, because I don't think that Phaedra is one of Shamia's favorite persons. Okay. I don't believe that. I remember she was calling Miss Phaedra and Portia out at one point. And I don't, and being that Shamia is really close friends with Candy as well, more closer friends with Candy than Portia, I'm sure Shamia still feels a way, as a lot of the fans do, about, the things and the allegations that, were put out there on Candy through Portia by way of, Miss Phaedra. So, yeah, Shamia may not be really feeling her, but I wouldn't be surprised if Shamia goes along to get along, to just not really have an enemy for real on the show, aside from Miss Drew, who she might see and deem as a weak chick. Okay. Did y'all see that Drew actually added Shamia the other day and told her, be careful with people that like to make up stories and act like we have beef when we don't. I love that moment. I said, yes, Drew. Drew added the girl. I said, yes, ma'am, at her. Okay, I loved it. I was here for it. Right now, as it stands, I feel like I'm leaning more so on Drew's side, but I don't really want to pick a side, because I want to see Shamia. I'm liking Shamia. I think Shamia has everything that a real housewife is supposed to have. Hello? Beauty, talent, the coinage, the husband, the kids. Like, I think she has everything. So I am looking forward to seeing what she brings to the front. I just didn't like that hater moment that she gave, knowing that she's besties with Portia, and Portia and Drew haven't really been on the ends. They've been more so on the outs. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that's going to play out. But yeah, Miss Phaedra will be returning to Real Housewives of Atlanta to play with the girls after, Miss Kenya Moore decided to part ways with Atlanta. I don't know, y'all. It's going to be interesting. We're going to get a whole new feel. I know Portia and Phaedra are going to be back. We may see Cynthia here or there, but it's going to really be a new feeling over at Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I'm hoping that it actually works for their sake. A lot of fans are not featuring it. They were upset when Kenya left. And now they're even more upset that Miss Phaedra is returning. I know a lot of people don't like Phaedra, but y'all, I could care less. When it comes to me, Phaedra does not bother me half as much as how she bothers everybody else. Okay. I know that she's put allegations out there about Candy by way of Portia, but y'all still uphold and support and praise Portia when Portia literally put the plan in motion on the show. She should have been held accountable just like Phaedra. She should have sat out. She was also a part of the plan. So all of that crying she did at the end, like, Phaedra, like, what is this? Oh my God, like, and Phaedra's like, Portia, I'm sorry. Portia, I'm sorry, girl, miss me with all of that. They were both in cahoots. So if y'all can stand up there and go praise Portia or whatever the case is, still to this day, then hey, it is what it is. And I understand some of y'all ain't praising Phaedra nor Portia, child. Hello. But either way, I could care less. If Portia's back after what she did and her and Miss Candy were able to get back cool, Candy's not on the show. Phaedra did what she did. She said what she said. She's going to be on the show. I'm going to tune in and check it out and see what it's given either way, regardless of who was going to return on the show. So I'll be checking it out. Make me know, never mind. Okay. I don't think a single person on this show is going to be enough to hold ratings, in my personal. Okay. A lot of people are like, I feel like, Phaedra didn't give anything on Married to Medicine, so she's not going to give anything on Housewives. And you guys really thought that Phaedra was going to bring the ratings and bring the views, and she didn't. And what do y'all think she's going to do over there on Housewives? Nothing. I don't think she's going to do anything. I don't think she's going to bring the ratings. And I also don't think Portia, I don't think none of them individually are going to bring the ratings. It's going to be about how they are as an ensemble cast and what they all can bring together. And if they can't, because right now it's giving too much floppity flop going on in the past few months, they slick losing the audience. But I feel like this happens a lot. People complain, they talk a lot, they say, oh, I don't like the show, I don't like this and that, I don't like with the casting or whatever, I don't like the direction y'all are going. And then they all go and they tune into the show. So we'll see. I feel like the only time people have truly stuck to their guns was when it came to Love and Marriage Huntsville, because when y'all blacked out and dropped those ratings, listen, I don't think those ratings have picked up since. And if they have picked up, they've never hit the numbers that they were, which was in the 400,000s and up. Okay, they have not hit that. They dropped down to like 200, and it's teetering between a 203 something. Okay, so there's that. All right. So I don't see y'all really, taking that true stance with Bravo, especially when there's nothing else to watch on television. You guys are probably going to go over there and tune in, but I'll let you do what you want to do, because that's just how y'all is, and y'all going to do that anyway. Okay. But back to Miss, Phaedra, and her being on Real Housewives of Atlanta, they're also saying that she quit Married to Medicine. Now, I told you guys this a few weeks, and I told you all that it came to my attention. Okay. It was told to me that Phaedra left because Heavenly tried to bring her business into the show, and Phaedra didn't like that. So Phaedra skedaddled. Okay. She said, I'm going to get up out of here. Okay. And I think with her also seeing how things were shaking up over at Housewives in Kenya, everything was perfect timing. So I feel like, hey, she used that as a grand opportunity where I'm not going to play with these girls. Let me go over here and I'll play with them. But also, here's the thing though. I also question whether this was in the works the whole time, because I feel like earlier this year when they were trying to figure out casting, Phaedra's name has come up about going over and playing with the girls. So I feel like Bravo has always wanted her back on Housewives of Atlanta. They just started to slowly maneuver and, put her in different places on the show until that perfect opportunity came to merge her back onto Housewives of Atlanta. I feel like that's something they've always wanted to do anyway. And this just happened to be perfect time. And so did she really quit, because of Heavenly, or was this already a part of the plan for her to shift, shake, and move on over? You know how the people are trying to say, did Biden really quit to put Kamala in? Okay, because he was ill, or was this a part of their plan anyways? What some of the people are saying. But anywho, girl, I'm just telling y'all a little tea. Okay, now, like I said, it was told to me that she quit. All right, because of some actions of Heavenly. Now we're seeing that on Twitter, it is being reported by Matt Beeves that allegedly Phaedra quit Married to Medicine because Dr. Heavenly invited Apollo and his wife to a cash trip, and Phaedra had a huge argument with a lot of people and left the trip and the rest of the show's filming, child. And they said this is what the rumor is at this time. I believe that. We're talking about Heavenly, the same woman that brought, was she a part of it? Maybe she wasn't a part of that. I can't remember exactly. Who brought Quad? Okay. I don't think Heavenly brought Quad. I can't remember who brought Quad, but Quad entered. Oh, Phaedra did it. It was Phaedra. Phaedra brought Quad to Miss T's bachelorette party, which was messy as hell, but Heavenly was loving it. She was enjoying it. She had no issue. So I would not be surprised. I feel like this is right up Heavenly's alley to bring Apollo in. I mean, Phaedra, you brought him on the reunion for him to answer any questions the ladies had. So maybe they felt like it was fair game. And with it being fair game, how about this? I'm going to invite him on now, and we're going to get into some things, including you. I feel like that was a very, very, very messy moment. Very messy moment. Okay. Very messy moment. But if you were to bring anybody that Damon may have dated back in college, Heavenly was bricks. Okay. She would go complete slap out crazy is what she would do. But that's what's going on. Now we are going to hear from Heavenly in this clip. So let us just hear what she had to say about the matter.
It's a lie. It's a lie that the Todd set up for the bullshit. I'm gonna tell you that's a lie. Part of it's true, but it's a mixture of lies and truth. And I can't but y'all gotta watch Married to Medicine. If y'all know what I'm saying, some people lie. And some people put lies in the street. But I can't say nothing right now. But when we do film, when we do show it, I will break it all down to y'all like it's never been broken before. So Jada, wait for it, baby. One thing.
All right. So y'all just heard that. Now, Heavenly was responding to one of her viewers that said, "Hey, Dr. Heavenly, the word on the street is Phaedra was upset after you invited Apollo to the Married to Medicine cast strip, and that influenced her to move to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Is that true?" And that's where she said that's not necessarily true. There is some truth mixed with a bit of lies. Okay. That is what Heavenly was saying. So we'll find out at a later time what was really going on and what is the mixture of the lies versus the truths. Okay. So there's that, honey. Let us go ahead and we'll move on to more. All right, y'all. So I want to move on and I want to talk about Trump. Yep, that's right. That's right. I want to get into Trump. Okay. Now he has been going viral as he always has been since this election, right? And maybe even before that. Okay. But he is on record for saying some things to Christians. All right. He let the people know that, listen, I love Christians, but I'm not a Christian. But I need y'all to get out here and vote. Okay. And if you get out here and vote, I promise I'm going to have it so fixed that you guys will never have to worry about voting again. Okay. I do want us to get into what Trump had to say. So let us check this out.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
All right. So y'all just sat up there and heard what Trump had to say. Now, let me tell you something. That right there is giving dictatorship, in my opinion. It has been a part of the conversation for a very long time. People have argued over it on social media and comment sections about how that's impossible and all of that. And I'm like, cut it out. He's showing you guys step by step. He literally has presidential immunity. Okay. With his Supreme Court individuals that he put on the stand to pretty much vote and approve things in his favor, like they are going to be instrumental. A lot of people that he puts in place for certain roles is going to be very instrumental into them allowing his agenda to come forth, which is so funny because it's Agenda 47. And he's saying that he is not associated with a Project 2025 at all, but you have some interesting connections to it. Okay. But like I said, he's going to be putting certain people in place, as he already has, to move forward with whatever his plan and his ideals are. This man literally is telling y'all out y'all mouth. And it's so funny to see how the Trumpers are going to try to cape for this man and say, oh, he wasn't saying that. He was talking about this. Oh, that's impossible because of that. Let me tell you something. I'd rather leave this earth believing that there was a God only to find out that there wasn't one. Okay. And that's how I would rather leave, believing in one. Okay. So with that being said, I'd rather believe what the hell he telling me on the front end and vote the opposite. Okay. Because this is what you're showing me. Okay. When a person show you and tell you who they are, believe what they saying, believe what they showing. And he's showing and he's giving me enough that I'm not rocking with that. Personally, okay, that's not something he idolizes Putin and all of that, and I'm just not rocking with it. And he's telling on himself. The more you let him speak, he tells on himself. But you know, people are going to go up. They're going to support. They have a right to choose who and what they want. I just ask, don't tell me who to choose once you've made your mind up. Hello, but let's go ahead and keep going because, of course, there is more. Because his running mate JD Vance, which is so interesting, he has been going viral as well for some of the things that he's saying, and the people are just not rocking with him at all. Okay, I do believe that they may be considering replacing him as a VP because right now it looks as though Kamala is very powerful coming up against Trump at this particular time. She's doing, very, very well. She's receiving a lot of endorsement, support, financial, all of that. And it's one thing for Trump to look bad, but for you to have a VP that matches you, I feel like, at one point, JD Vance talked about how he did not support Trump, didn't necessarily like him. So now I'm questioning, is the things that JD Vance saying, are you saying those things because you truly believe it, or are you saying what you're saying to help not get Trump elected because you don't really like him? Are you on his campaign to sabotage him as well? Because we have a cute clip of you from way back of you talking about how you wasn't here for him, which is very interesting, right? But one of the things that he's gone viral for more recently is talking about women without kids and how they shouldn't be able to vote and this and that. I'm sure he's going to turn around and try to take rights away from women that don't have kids. Now, some women, yes, it's a choice. For some women, they can't. And for other women, their child may have passed away. So I don't know. I just feel like it's very insensitive of him, but we are going to get into what he has to say. So y'all check this out.
Not just childless cat ladies. Turns out there are many more ways Trump's running mate has described people without children. The word sociopath used a lot.
Brand new this morning, more than childless cat ladies, way more. New reporting from CNN's K-File this morning on Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance. The controversial comments he made questioning the judgment of people without children, they were not a one-off. In May of 2019, he told a crowd, quote, "Babies are good because we're not sociopaths."
I've seen people who become more attached to their communities, to their families, to their country because they have children. So I would say that we should care about declining fertility, not just because it's bad for our economy, but because we think babies are good. And we think babies are good because we're not sociopaths.
Then in November of 2020, during a podcast appearance, he said this.
There's just these basic cadences of life that I think are really powerful and really, really valuable when you have kids in your life. And the fact that so many people, especially in America's leadership class, just don't have that in their lives, I worry that it makes people more sociopathic and ultimately our whole country a little bit less less mentally stable. And of course, you talk about going on Twitter. Final point I'll make is you go on Twitter and almost always the people who are most deranged and most psychotic are people who don't have kids at home.
In August of 2021, in a fundraising email, CNN found he appealed to donors by mentioning the, quote, radical childless leaders in this country. And then he tweeted in 2021, quote, cat ladies must be stopped.
Okay, so y'all just heard some of what this man said. And let me tell you, CNN was clocking the hell out of him. Okay, and bringing back every time that he mentioned some ignorant stuff. I mean, just purely ignorant. Okay, saying that women shouldn't vote and all, like, just crazy. Okay, now listen, this is also interesting because CNN also has a recording of JD Vance mentioning that Kamala Harris is a problem for the Trump campaign. Let us get into that too.
President Harris.
All of us were hit with a little bit of a political sucker punch. The bad news is that Kamala Harris does not have the same baggage as Joe Biden because whatever we might say, Kamala Harris is a lot younger. And Kamala Harris is obviously not struggling in the same ways that Joe Biden did.
Candid comments there, and they may just be an accurate assessment of how much Biden dropping out of the race has shaken things up, truly. But compare what you heard from Senator Vance there to what former President Donald Trump said publicly just a few moments ago on Fox.
I think she's a worse candidate than him. She's far more radical left. She is younger. I mean, she's 60 years old. A lot of people, I didn't realize she was 60. I thought she was a little younger.
Joining me now is the reporter who broke this story, Isaac Arnsdorf, who is a national political reporter for the Washington Post. And it's great to have you, Isaac. I mean, this is the first time we're actually getting to listen to what Senator Vance said during that fundraiser. You obtained this audio. You reported on it earlier, but now tonight we're hearing it for the first time. And it's just notable given Trump was on Fox tonight just a few moments ago saying that he actually thinks she's a worse candidate What do you make of what you heard in this audio from a private fundraiser compared to what we're hearing from the Trump campaign publicly about her viability?
Well, that's exactly right, Caitlin. I mean, it's not exactly an earth-shattering insight that Harris, in just a short week since taking over the Democratic ticket, has raised a ton of money, energized a lot of Democrats, brought out a lot of new volunteers, and has been able to make speeches and draw crowds and land attacks in ways that Biden was struggling to do. I mean, we can all see that for ourselves. The thing is that the Trump campaign had been publicly, including Vance himself, had been publicly taking this line of, nothing to see here, nothing has changed, and that's different than the message she had for these donors behind closed doors.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess you're right. It makes sense because essentially they're saying, they want to act like everything's fine and that it hasn't changed much. Obviously, it has changed. We all know that, and people do concede that. But the question is, what does this attack look like on Harris? How are they going to go after her since they do have a new opponent? And he also talked about that on this audio that you obtained. I want everyone to listen to that.
We wonder, how is the world caught on fire? How is there a new war in seemingly every continent in the world? And it's because Kamala and the Democrats lied about Joe Biden. It kind of leads into the good news because no person in the United States of America owns the disastrous Harris-Biden agenda more than his own vice president of the United States.
What's interesting is, part of this audio is they did seem to have concerns about shaping perception of her because everyone has a fully formed opinion on President Biden, on former President Trump. He thinks from that audio, it sounds like that it's not that case with the vice president here.
Right. There's another part in the remarks where he basically says, love him or hate him. Basically, everyone already knew Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and most people had their minds made up. And Harris is just a lot less well-known, a lot less well-defined. And so it's a race between both campaigns to try to shape Americans' impressions of her, almost like a reintroduction. And the Democrats are out with their story of how they're trying to position her as a prosecutor and as an optimistic voice for the future. And you're seeing the Trump campaign kind of try a lot of different things right now. And in the Senator Vance was talking about that in the clip we just heard, some of the ways they're trying to pin some of Biden's record on her, make her responsible for that, accuse her of covering up for Biden's health. And then you also heard in the clip from former President Trump talking about some attacks that are specific to Harris, making her out to be a San Francisco liberal. So it's kind of a grab bag at this point still. They are seeing what kind of message they can drive that's going to connect.
That is actual factual. They are definitely, grasping at dang old straws and trying so hard to get something to stick. But let me tell you, the millennials and the Gen Z, they are not having it. They have been lighting TikTok up. When Trump has put out certain ads trying to shape a narrative, or the RNC has put out, ads trying to shape a narrative of Kamala. Listen, the Gen Z people and the TikTokers, they getting in there and they switching the narrative right on back to keep the people on focus, all right, on what they want them to believe about Kamala Harris VP in the best way possible. So that's really interesting, honey, but they are definitely grasping at straws and they are trying. And I caught what he did there. I caught what Trump did there earlier in that clip. He was trying to say, oh, she's 60. Oh, I thought she was much younger, but oh, she's 60. See, he's trying to also raise concern about her age as well. But sir, that 60 ain't got nothing on that age that you are. So you don't want to be the only one ridiculed for your age. Interesting. But we are going to get into another interview, this sit down, another clip with this sit down with Trump, where he pretty much addresses the whole Christian situation and not having a vote for the future. And I really don't think he did himself any favors, like at all. But y'all go ahead and check this out.
They're also attacking you for other ridiculous reasons. They're saying that you said to a crowd of Christians that they won't have to vote in the future.
Yeah, let me say what did I mean by that. I had a tremendous crowd speaking to Christians. This was a crowd that liked me a lot. I think I'm at 97% or something. And they're treated very badly by this administration, okay? Catholics are treated unbelievably. They're like persecuted. And if I might say, before I go into the other, Jewish people, if you're Jewish and you vote for Biden or the Democrats or Kamala or whoever's going to run, I guess it's going to be her. But if you voted for her or the Democrats, you should have your head examined, because nobody's ever been treated so badly by this. This administration is destroying Israel, et cetera, et cetera. So with respect to like a statement.
Can I correct that? It's so interesting that he sat up there and said that, you know, this administration is destroying Israel. That's really interesting. Okay, it seems like they hella over there supporting it, even when the people are not in agreement with it. And you also got on your speech more recently, where I believe you were down in Florida, saying that you were going to continue whatever they're doing over there in Israel. You said that you were going to continue it. Okay.
Like I made, that statement is very simple. I said, vote for me. You're not going to have to do it ever again. It's true. Because we have to get the vote out. Christians are not known as a big voting group. They don't vote. And I'm explaining that to them. You never vote.
Pause. I also noticed that there was a jump cut. So Trump definitely said more when he said you won't have to vote again. They jump cut that and they edited it. Okay, they showed a different angle. They edited something out. I don't know what else he said, but obviously Fox News felt as though it wasn't going to be a good look for him. So they made sure that they clipped some things out.
This time, vote. I'll straighten out the country. You won't have to vote anymore. I won't need your vote. You can go back
So
to
you meant you don't have to vote for you because you have 4 years in office.
Look. Christians are known. You know who else doesn't vote? Gun owners don't vote.
He's not answering the question.
What you're saying, though, you're not saying it's being interpreted as you are not surprised to hear.
No,
by the left as well. They're never going to have another election. He's saying there's not. So
First time I've even heard.
Can you even just respond to that?
I said Christians. I started off by saying, just so you understand, you never vote. Christians do not vote well. They vote in very small percentages. Why? I don't know. Maybe
I don't believe that. He's talking about
disappointed in things that are happening, but for a long time. I say, you don't vote. I'm saying, go out. You must vote. November 5th is going to be the most important election in the history of our country. Whether you vote early or not, we should have, by the way, one-day voting. We should have voter ID. We should have proof of citizenship. And we should have paper ballots, okay? That's what we should have. But we don't have that. But I said to the Christians,
we don't have none of that you mentioned. Girl,
typically,
this man out of here.
Christians do not vote. Why it is, I don't know. You're rebellious. Something's going on. Don't worry about the future. You have to vote on November 5th. After that, you don't have to worry about voting anymore. I don't care, because we're going to fix it. The country will be fixed, and we won't even need your vote anymore, because frankly, we will have such love. If you don't want to vote anymore, that's okay.
All right. So y'all just heard what this man sat up here and said, right? Girl, I don't have the time. I do not have the time. He keep talking about Christians not voting, but not answering the question about having voting fixed to where people would never have to do it again. Okay. But I would love to see how the Republicans are going to sit up here and try to shape a different narrative of what this man said. But do y'all know that Trump is supposed to be speaking at the National Association of Black Journalists? Did y'all know that? I believe it's going to be in Chicago or whatnot. And that's really interesting, because I'm like, why? Y'all should have gave that platform to Kamala. Why are y'all giving it to Trump? I see he's trying very hard to get the black vote, and I mean hard. Okay. But the people are not feeling it. They are dragging NABJ as they should. Okay. Now there are set to be 3 different women that were supposed to interview with Trump. And one of the ladies had to actually she stepped down. She's like, I'm supposed to do it, but I'm not going to do it. Okay. She says, I have decided to step down as co-chair from this year's NABJ 24 convention in Chicago. Actually, let me correct myself. I thought she was going to be one of the panelists, but she's not. Looks like she's a co-chair for this convention. She said that she's stepping down. To the journalists interviewing Trump, I wish them the best of luck. For everyone else, I'm looking forward to meeting and reconnecting with all of you in the Windy City. Okay. So there's that. Okay, there's that. Now, I will say this though, okay? It's not really in his defense, but I will say this. Just because you're a part of NABJ, a National Association of Black Journalists, does not mean that you're for Kamala. You might be for Trump. Okay, I think they probably, I mean, hey, I feel like y'all allowing him to come on the forefront and y'all are representing Black people. I feel like y'all are putting y'all support behind him when it's clear that the majority Black people are putting their support behind Kamala. So that's just real interesting that they're allowing this. Now, Black Voters Matter, they came out and said it is unacceptable that NABJ would give a platform to Donald Trump, especially after his long history of racist rhetoric and actions. It's a slap in the face to every Black journalist and the communities that we serve, period. All right. And then Roland Martin came out and said it is an abomination that the NABJ leadership is allowing Harris Faulkner to participate in a panel questioning Donald Trump. Her network is 100% in the tank for Trump. They also paid $787 million for advancing his lies about the 2020 election. That disqualifies them completely. Okay, so a lot of people seem to be upset over here in the comments about it. They are not here for it at all. Okay, but I just gave you guys all of the information. You let me know your thoughts about everything that we just discussed today. I am Jami, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at Jami, that's me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like Soldier Rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more to survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out and came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad one. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out.